Good day, my friends. Here we are again together, going through this challenging time, supporting, encouraging, and being with one another. Here's a question I have for us to ponder today. Have you ever wondered what to say to someone when they're going through a particularly dark or challenging time in their life? I know I've wrestled with that. Last week at the Orange Conference, we heard an interview with a talented man named John. He's an actor and comedian, describing his lifelong struggle with chronic depression and anxiety. John began his talk with us by quoting the Apostle Paul, 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 and 4. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of all compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. And John went on to build on that verse, describing how he had experienced this in his life. He grew up in a very loving home, great parents. And yet, during his junior year in high school, he began to experience depression and anxiety. He described it as he felt he was dissolving. Having the parents he did, when they found out about it, they did all the right things. They got him into therapy and got the help that he needed, but he continued to struggle with this. Earlier in high school, John had become a Christian through the witness of some friends of his. And when he went to college, John got involved with the campus church. He very much liked the pastor there, connected well with him. The pastor recognized his talents with acting and comedy and would ask John to help with the worship service to enhance them. And so that was going well. And yet he was still struggling a lot. On the way back to his dorm after Easter service of his freshman year, John had decided he'd had enough. He went to his dorm room, swallowed a bottle full of pills. He didn't even know what they were, lay down in his bed, ready to die. And then he heard what he would come to know as God's still small voice inside of him saying, get up and go to church. Well, one of John's good friends actually lived at the church. He served as the custodian there. And when John told him what he was experiencing, his friend took him right to the hospital. And John was hospitalized for chronic depression and anxiety, and because of this suicide attempt. During that time, he described life as though it's just taking all the joy out of life. Almost unable to experience happiness. During that time, some well-meaning Christian friends from the college came, and they would share with John Bible verses and other religious sayings. And John said it was devastating. He knew they were well-meaning, but just was devastating to him because he couldn't figure out how he could be like what they were suggesting he should be like. But when his pastor that he enjoyed came to visit him, and John told him what he was experiencing when people came and read him Bible verses or said these things, the pastor said, don't listen to them. And what the pastor said is, I'm here now. I'm just here now. And John says that in that moment, he experienced the presence of Jesus unlike he'd ever experienced before. Now, things didn't get better right away. In fact, he continued to struggle with depression and has continued to struggle with depression and anxiety. He went through a failed marriage. He eventually met a woman who took the time to learn about what John was struggling with. And when they got married, and when John would again spiral into one of these episodes, his wife would simply say, John, I see you. I'm so sorry you're going through this pain, and I'm here for you. You see, too often we think we have to say something. And really, if we're honest with ourselves, we're trying to take control of the situation. We're trying to take control of their emotions because it makes us uncomfortable. When we can simply be with someone in the midst of their struggles, we are living out this verse that John quoted from the Apostle Paul. Because what does it mean when it says that we comfort others in their troubles with the comfort we ourselves have received from God? How does God comfort us except to be with us in His Spirit? Yes, there are helpful Bible verses. There are helpful things to understand. But when we are simply with someone and we hang in there with them, sometimes just sitting in the lament with them, in their silence with them, in their emotions with them, we validate their feelings. We say, I understand this is what you feel, and we're not trying to push it away in any way. We are appreciating the courage they had to share that with us. And we're really giving them the comfort that we ourselves have received from God when we've gone through difficult times. So there are some good things to say, and there are some helpful Bible verses. But when you're experiencing going through a difficult time with someone, the most important thing is to simply be with them and sit with them in their lament, to sit with them in their emotions. And I would imagine that during these challenging days, you might be experiencing that more with people. And so I would encourage you to begin this way, to just be with them and let them know that you are seeking to understand what they are thinking and feeling. May this be a word of encouragement and instruction for us today, and go with God's peace.